It's Friday night again. You're sitting there, scrolling your phone, half waiting for her to ask, half afraid to say what you actually want. You mention that new movie you've wanted to see for weeks, but before the words even settle in the air, you add the familiar disclaimer. Or we can watch whatever you want. I don't mind. She shrugs. 30 minutes later, you're on the couch, watching a romantic comedy. You can't stand pretending it's fine and quietly filing away another night where what you wanted didn't matter. This isn't a one-off. It's a pattern, a lifestyle built out of tiny self-betrayals. You call it being thoughtful. You call it being considerate. You tell yourself you're just easygoing. But if you're brutally honest, you know that's not what's really happening. You're not being thoughtful. You're being compliant. You're not acting out of love. You're acting out of fear. Fear of her being disappointed, fear of tension, fear of being called selfish, fear that if you ever fully show up as yourself, it won't be enough. Today, we're going to tear that entire pattern apart because you've been sold a very specific myth about women, love, and relationships. And it's wrecking not just your attraction, but your self-respect. 1. The myth that's making you weak. From childhood, you were fed a simple formula. Be nice enough, be accommodating enough, be selfless enough, and women will love you, stay loyal, respect you. So you built your entire relationship strategy on that equation. You learned to avoid conflict at all costs, say yes, even when every part of you wanted to say no, swallow your opinions if you suspected she wouldn't like them, prioritize her comfort over your own honesty. And when it didn't work, when women pulled away, lost interest, or treated you like an option instead of a priority, you didn't question the formula, you questioned yourself. You thought, maybe I wasn't kind enough. Maybe I should give more. Maybe if I'm even more patient, she'll finally see my value. So you doubled down on the very behaviour that was making you forgettable. Here's the harsh truth. The more you betray yourself to keep her comfortable, the less attractive you become. Not because women are evil, not because nice guys finish last is some cosmic law, but because you are using the wrong currency. You're trying to buy attraction with self-sacrifice. Attraction doesn't accept that payment. 2. Why being a good guy isn't enough. You've been told your whole life, just be a good man, and the right woman will appreciate you. But there's a crucial piece missing from that sentence. People don't feel attraction to you for your moral code alone. They feel attraction based on the impact you have on their emotional experience. Your goodness is passive, it becomes meaningful when it creates a powerful, positive emotional reality. If your goodness shows up as never disagreeing, never pushing back, never asserting your needs, never creating any tension or polarity, it doesn't feel like goodness, it feels like convenience, and convenience is the opposite of value. Think about it. Utility companies are convenient. No one is attracted to them. A doormat is convenient. No one respects it. You become the emotional equivalent of a utility service. Always there, always reachable, always agreeable, used when needed, forgotten when not. People only notice utility when it stops working. And when it breaks, they don't mourn it. They just replace it. When you show up as unlimited convenience, you teach her something very specific. You never have to earn my time, my effort, or my attention. I'm here by default. Nothing rare, nothing selective, nothing that makes your presence feel like a privilege. So she doesn't wake up thinking, I'm so grateful for his kindness. She wakes up thinking, how do I feel around him? Safe? Maybe. Comfortable? Sure. Challenged? Not really. Drawn in? Probably not. She's not looking for a man whose only skill is agreeing with her. She's looking for a man whose presence changes how she feels about herself and her world. A man with weight, a man with depth, a man whose attention means something because it's not automatic. 3. The too good trap. You've probably seen or heard it. He's a great guy. He's just too good to me. He's nice, but there's no spark. He'd make an amazing husband for someone else. Too good is often code for something else. Too compliant, too available, too eager to please, too scared to rock the boat. Underneath, that is a lack of self-respect. When you're desperate to prove you're the good guy, you broadcast something without realizing it. I don't believe I'm enough as I am, so I overcompensate. You overgive, over-explain, over-invest. Not from abundance, but from anxiety. You're not giving because you're full. You're giving because you're hoping she'll fill a hole in you. Women sense this even if they can't articulate it. It doesn't feel like strength. It feels like emotional need, disguised as generosity. They don't want to be responsible for your sense of worth. That's a heavy, unattractive burden. They don't want to be worshipped by a man who has nothing better to do with his life than orbit around them. They want to be chosen by a man who has options, by a man with standards, by a man whose attention feels like a reward because it's selective. When you try to please everyone, you become special to no one. Your yes has no value when it's the only word you ever use. 4. The real engine behind your niceness. Fear. Let's drop the heroic language for a moment. You don't accommodate women because you're uniquely kind. You accommodate them because you're afraid. Afraid of conflict, afraid of tension, afraid of being seen as selfish, afraid of having a woman upset with you. So you build a socially acceptable mask, a version of yourself designed to avoid rejection. You soften your edges. You mute your opinions. You never disagree too strongly. You never risk being misunderstood. That mask becomes your prison. You think you're being loving, but you're being dishonest. Because she's not meeting you. She's meeting your performance. She's not dating your personality. She's dating your fear of disapproval. And here's what makes this worse. You tell yourself, she doesn't appreciate me. When in reality, she never even got to meet the real you. You hid him. You never gave her the chance to accept or reject who you truly are. And what's left is a hollow dynamic where you feel unseen and unappreciated. She feels an unexplained anxiety, like something is off. That off feeling is the absence of authenticity. You can't build a deep, passionate, stable relationship on a foundation of strategic self-erasure. 5. Why self-disrespect automatically kills attraction. There is a brutal law in human psychology. We struggle to deeply respect anyone who clearly doesn't respect themselves. You can talk all day about how worthy you are. You can insist you're a good man. But if your behaviour communicates, I don't value my preferences, I don't protect my time, I'll tolerate being dismissed or disrespected as long as you don't leave. No one is going to feel deep respect for you. Your need for approval exposes your internal belief. I am not enough unless you validate me. And nothing suffocates attraction like being handed emotional responsibility for someone else's identity. Here's the paradox that breaks the pleaser worldview. The more you try to earn respect by avoiding conflict and pleasing, the less respect you get. Because respect isn't awarded to the man who bends the most. It goes to the man who stands for something, even when that stance is uncomfortable. Women don't respect men who treat their own needs like a nuisance. They respect men who move like their needs matter. 6. Boundaries. The signal of self-worth. Respect, in practice, looks like this. You have lines. You enforce them calmly. You're willing to walk away if those lines are repeatedly crossed. That's it. Women respect men who say no when something doesn't work for them, push back when they're treated carelessly, refuse to be emotionally blackmailed or guilted into submission. Not because these men are rude, but because they're anchored. They're not trying to be liked at all costs. They live from a quiet understanding. My time, my attention, my energy, and my presence are valuable. I don't hand them over to just anyone, under any conditions. A woman might not always like your boundaries in the moment, but over time, those boundaries are exactly what make her feel safe with you. Because a man who can say no to her is also the man who can say no to the world on behalf of both of you. A man with a spine is someone she can trust in the long run. A man with no boundaries is not safe. He's unstable because he can be pushed into anything. 7. Convenience versus value. What you're really signalling. Every time you say it's okay when it's not. Pretend you're fine with things that actually bother you. Overextend yourself to keep her comfortable while you silently resent it. You're sending a message. My experience is negotiable. Yours is not. She learns unconsciously. Your comfort is optional. Your preferences are flexible. Your standards are pliable. You stop existing as a man with an inner world. You become a function, the driver, the planner, the emotional shock absorber, the peacekeeper, useful, predictable, replaceable. She doesn't see your kindness as a gift. She experiences it as the minimum she can expect from you at all times. Because you've trained her that way. No one cherishes what they believe they can always have without effort. Scarcity isn't about playing games. It's about understanding this. If you do not treat your own time, energy, and attention as rare, no one else will. 8. Authenticity. The one thing you're terrified to try. Let's talk about what actually creates magnetic attraction. Authenticity. Plus direction. Plus self-respect. Not perfection, not a script, not high-value buzzwords. Authenticity means you say what you think without being reckless. You reveal who you are without begging to be liked. You share your preferences without apologizing for having them. You express disagreement without exploding or folding. It means you are the same man with or without her approval. Most men never try this because they're afraid. What if I show who I really am and she doesn't want me? Here's the part you don't want to face. If she doesn't want who you really are, what exactly are you trying to build there? The cost of your current strategy is enormous. You lose yourself to keep her. Then she leaves anyway, because the man she met was never fully there. You never got rejected as a man. You got rejected as a mask, and yet you still cling to the mask. The only way out is to reverse the equation. I will be myself first, and I will let the wrong people fall away. That sounds risky, but the alternative is worse. A life where you're never truly seen, never truly chosen, and never truly respected, because you were never truly present. 9. Your mission, the vector. She actually responds to women, are not attracted to men whose sole mission in life is make her happy. That sounds romantic. It reads well on social media. But it fails in the real world. Why? Because a man without a mission is a man without gravity. You become emotionally dependent on her reactions because you have no other source of meaning. When she's happy, you feel alive. When she's distant, you feel empty. When she's upset, your entire world collapses. You've outsourced your purpose. Attraction does not live there. Women are drawn to men who have goals and standards that exist outside the relationship, are building something, career, body, craft, discipline, impact, are moving in a direction with or without someone beside them. That direction is your vector. You are not the center of her universe. She is not the center of yours. You are a man walking a path. She has the chance to walk beside you if it aligns with her life. This doesn't mean being cruel, cold, or dismissive. It means your life is bigger than your relationship. When your mission is bigger than her mood, you become a world she can enter, not a project she has to manage. That is where attraction grows. Not in need, but in choice. 10. Boundaries as filters, not walls. When you start reclaiming your standards, you might feel the urge to swing into the opposite extreme, building thick emotional walls, shutting down, being untouchable. That's not strength, that's defense. Healthy boundaries are not walls that keep everyone out. They're filters that let the right people in and keep the wrong people from getting too close. A filter says, I will let you into my life, but not at the expense of my self-respect. You can express your emotions, but you cannot control my decisions with them. I will listen and care, but I will not abandon my values to avoid your disappointment. Most men never learned how to set boundaries with women because they were taught, good men never say no. Good men absorb discomfort. Good men put others first always. The truth, boundaries are not selfish. They are the basic infrastructure of self-respect. Without them, any love you offer is unsustainable because it's built on self-erasure. With them, your love has weight because it's given freely, not extracted through guilt or fear. As you implement boundaries, you'll notice something. Some women will push back, test, or walk away. Good. They were never interested in you as a person, only as a resource. Others will adjust, recalibrate, and respect you more. Those are the ones you can actually build something with. 11. Stop trying to be chosen. Start choosing. One of the deepest mindset shifts you must make is this. You are not applying for a job called boyfriend or husband. You are not auditioning. You're not on a stage hoping to be picked. You are evaluating as much as you are being evaluated. You are choosing as much as you are being chosen. That means you develop standards for women that go beyond looks. You pay attention to her values, her integrity, her emotional patterns. You notice how she handles stress, jealousy, uncertainty, and conflict. You ask, is this someone I would actually want in my life? Not, will she accept me? But, do I accept her? This is where your willingness to walk away becomes non-negotiable. If you stay with any woman, no matter how beautiful, no matter how charming, who disrespects your boundaries, plays games with your time and emotions, expects your constant sacrifice while giving little back, you are not being loyal. You are being disloyal to yourself. Being chosen by someone who doesn't fit your standards is not a win. It's a trap. Your selectivity is not arrogance. It's alignment. And women can feel when you're selective, not because you're picky for status, but because you actually value yourself. 12. Building the masculine core that ends the pleaser pattern. You don't break a lifelong pattern by memorizing a few lines or tricks. You break it by rebuilding the man at the center. That core is built from achievements that matter to you, physical goals you fight for, skills you develop over time, work you take pride in, male friendships and brotherhood, men who will tell you the truth, men who challenge you and hold you higher, men who don't need anything from you except your growth, physical discipline, training your body not just for looks but for self-control, feeling stronger, more capable, more grounded, intellectual development, reading, learning, thinking for yourself, questioning narratives instead of swallowing them whole, spiritual or philosophical grounding if that's your path, having a framework bigger than your personal feelings, understanding your place in the world beyond relationships. Every time you set a goal, follow through and hit it, you lay another brick in that foundation. You stop needing external validation because your life itself is stacked with proof. I am capable, I can build, I can change. You might still feel fear, but you're no longer ruled by it. From that core, pleasing becomes unnecessary. Not because you stop caring about people, but because you stop abandoning yourself to keep them. 13. What women actually experience. When you stop pleasing. When you stop being the pleaser, 3 things happen. The wrong women fall away. The ones who saw you as a tool, not a partner. The ones who were attracted to control, not connection. The ones who only stayed because your lack of boundaries made their life easier. Losing them is not a loss. It's a detox. The right women are drawn in, or step forward. The ones who value strength and honesty. The ones who want a partner, not a servant. The ones who feel more relaxed, not more anxious, around a man with a spine. Attraction grows because they finally feel a man in front of them, not a performance. You feel more at peace, whether you're single or not. You stop obsessing over every interaction. You stop replaying conversations in your head, wondering if you said the right thing. You stop measuring your value by how happy she looked that day. You're no longer living on the emotional seesaw of other people's reactions. 14. The real difference between men who are used and men who are respected. It comes down to this. Men who are used try to please everyone, fear conflict, avoid standards, and constantly negotiate their self-respect for crumbs of approval. Men who are respected please themselves first, set standards, embrace difficult conversations, and refuse to abandon their integrity, even if it costs them a relationship. Respect is not a reward you earn by bleeding the most. It's the natural reaction to a man who makes it clear, I would rather stand alone in my truth than be loved for my compliance. Women don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be real, grounded, boundaried, alive. Stop trying to be the man you think she wants. Be the man you actually are, sharpened, disciplined, and unafraid to say, this is who I am. You're welcome to join my life, but I will not disappear into yours. That is the man she can truly choose, and that is the man you can finally respect when you look in the mirror.